Holy smokes, 11,000? Oh boy, is this gonna keep up or is the other shoe about to drop? Let's get into this. Holy cow. Now it's at 11,045. Just since I did that intro, what in the world is going on? This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. Let's break down this action on how Bitcoin is making a fool out of me with my last video prediction. Or is it? But before I get into that, I'm gonna tell you one thing. This is a lesson that you need to learn. When you really think that all of the indications are predicting a movement with Bitcoin, or when you think that someone on YouTube really knows what they're talking about, you better think again, because Bitcoin can and will clown you. You can get wrecked. And there's a reason why. Us normal people, we get manipulated. This game is owned by the insiders. We think that this is all natural progression, but it is not. Okay, that being said, and I hate that phrase, let's get into the action. Let's get rid of my handsome face and zoom on into the 4-hour chart. So here we are on the 4-hour, and I've got a circle here around the action. And what we notice is that since yesterday's video, Bitcoin has pushed on up. But we also notice that there is a little bit of micro action along this magical light red 4.236 fib circle ring that I constructed many moons ago. I think I put this one together on the 1st of July, and it's based on the big wedge that happened way back here. From the middle of June to July is how I discovered this set. And this set is what I would call a hot set because there's been a lot of action on this line. So what usually happen on these fib circle boundaries, you'll see things like price sticking to the line like it did here. Then you'll see jumps where we jumped off right here and took a dive. You see several interactions. It's like it has a gravitational pulling effect. Now, I made this other little blue line that we talked about before. It was my little guess that there would be a pathway that comes down to this intersection. And now we can see that we clearly blew through this line right here, and it just shot on up to here. But now, what's going on in this little area here? Let's just zoom on in and take a closer look. We have a red candle that looks like an almost doji, and we have a green candle that just formed since I made the introduction. So within this little area, do we have the possibility of a rejection? Yes, we do. Let's look at the evidence for a rejection, and then let's also look at the evidence that BTC is going to pump and move up to the next level. And also, full disclosure, I don't care either way. It's just for entertainment for me because I'm not holding Bitcoin. I'm not investing in this because A, the market is too volatile, and B, Bitcoin is at such an extreme price, I can't take positions and swing trade because I'm not gonna have the chance to say make a double or a 10-bagger in a week or a month or have a massive move that you can profit from right away. All right, so I digress. Let's look at the evidence for the dive. Let's just look and see what we have right here. Let's get rid of these drawings on the drawing here, and let's kind of scrunch on over here so we can check out what is happening down below and work our way up. So first bit of evidence that we might have a rejection is that we are still in this overall trend on the OBV, even though the OBV is extending this movement here that I thought was a measured movement. I thought that this leg was going to be the same as this leg, and it's not. This one's longer. So we're pushing up and there's more accumulation going on. And for the first time, we have poked through. So let's just number this. We had a rejection here. We had a rejection here. We had a rejection here. And then out of the clear blue, this time we had a not rejection. We had a poking through of the trend line. But overall, we're still in a downward trend. So let's look at more evidence to the contrary. The stochastic, we've got a crossover of the fast blue line, crossing over the red line, and we are clearly in the overbought zone, way up here at around 90%, maybe 85, 90, 95. And so it looks like the direction, oops, I didn't mean to do that. It looks like the direction could be on its way this way. Okay, so at any rate, let's talk about this action on the stochastic, because whenever you see that crossover, it can fool you. And we can get these double hump camels that happen that I've talked about in prior videos. Usually when you have a crossover and you've been in the clear overbought zone, like right here, the fast line crossover the slow, and then all of a sudden you take a dive down in the other direction. But then this time we came up, and then we had a clear crossover right here, but then it picked up another head of steam and decided to come up again. So that happens sometime. I mean, look at this one. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 5 times that the stochastic regained, gathered itself, and stayed above the 80% boundary line and continued to push the price up. So it's never a guarantee. You know, here we had a one banger, here's a one humper, here's a double hump, here's a somewhat double hump. And then sometimes they'll come up, go down, but stay shallow here and come back up again. So it's no guarantee. But for right now, all I can go off of is the fact that this stochastic is pointing down, but it could, like I said, turn the other way. Now, the other bit of evidence that we have is up above right here. For right now, it looks like a rejection on the 4.236 light red fib circle ring. And this is the larger ring, not from this smaller set. So what normally happens that we see, just like we had right here, you tend to get a pivot. Now that doesn't mean it's going to continue doing this. Sometimes it'll do this and then it'll come back up and retest that line. And then the next time it retests the line, it could blow through it. And it honestly could look for the next ring. It could jump to the 4.618, or it could find a stopping point out here at the 4.618 green fib circle boundary. All right, so that's the evidence on a continued correction. All right, so now let's look at the evidence for a pump move. What is telling us here that Bitcoin could pump and look for the next level? There are several things. So here we go. Number one, the violation of this descending OBV average line that I made. So right here, we broke it for the first time. We had 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th time we poked through. So that's supporting a move up. Number two, we see that we regained strength and the stochastic reversed. So this could happen again, just like it did with all of this action here. Okay, number three, volume is a little bit more here than it was on the last run over here. So that's somewhat bullish on the micro. What else? Number four, we have a large chunk of volume on the profile that is centered on the point of control at 11,727. Price tends to gravitate towards these chunks, and it tends to make moves. Now that we have gotten away from this slip zone, we could rise back up and hit this line. So those are the bits of evidence that show us that it could move up. But I'm going to tell you what, whatever move that's going to be made, it's going to have some confluence, don't you love that fancy word, with these fib circle rings. I don't tend to get into too many different indicators because these fib circles, I'm getting good at it. And 9 times out of 10, it helps me to predict the movement. So what you can view me as, if you like this channel and my videos, view me as your tour guide on a hike through the forest or through the mountains. And so all I am is your tour guide that is trying to keep you away from danger, where I can say this is a danger spot right here if you're looking to swing trade Bitcoin. This could possibly happen. Or I can say, feast your eyes on this beautiful attraction up here in this volume cluster, like it's a beautiful peak on top of the mountain. So it's hard enough to just navigate through this mess in the crazy cryptocurrency market. It's good to have a tour guide. And in the last video, I made a comparison of myself to John Madden, where I'm just calling the plays and the action like I see it, but with a little bit of wisdom and prior knowledge and experience of knowing how the market reacts. So John Madden, even though he said a lot of crazy things, he had the experience of 30, 40, 50 years of broadcast, and he was able to predict certain outcomes. He wasn't right all the time, but he was pretty good at what he did. So hopefully I can help you to make your way through the forest and make it less scary to navigate through this crazy jungle. That's about all I have for now, but I would love to hear your opinion. Do you think Bitcoin is going to surge above this ring, or do you think it's going to reject? What are your thoughts now with the recent movement on the filling of the CME gap? Are we going to leave that CME gap alone for the first time ever? Or are we going to dip back down and grab it? Also, what are your thoughts on all the blood red that we're seeing over in the altcoin market? All of the alts are really getting destroyed right now. And usually up until now, we have seen a matching pathway where Bitcoin leads the way and the alts have seemingly followed with the last surge that we had. But this time it's a Bitcoin only rally and there are not too many alts that are following suit. So what are your thoughts on that? And do you think the blood red in the altcoin sector is indicative of an incoming Bitcoin drop? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. But anyway, that's all I've got for now. We'll see you on the next video. I've got updates coming on some of your favorite projects, and let me know if there's a coin that you would like me to talk about and give some insight and help you navigate your way through the forest. This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. I'm out.